Okay, so which running shoe should you get between these two? Nike's latest release, and listen to how long these names are. The Nike React X Infinity Run 4 or Nike Zoom X Invincible Run 3. In this video, I'm gonna put these two shoes head to head to help you make the decision which shoe should you get. Let's talk about it. Okay. My name is Aubrey. Welcome to the channel. I'm a very average runner, simply trying to be less average by the day, as at the time of filming this, you guys have given me 5,729 subscribers. Thank you very much. If you happen to be on Instagram, please do give me a follow. It's right here, aubrey.running. Let's connect. Okay, let's start with the comparison. The first section, the profiles of these shoes. What the heck are these shoes for? And the best way to explain it is if you imagine a scale, the Pegasus 40 daily trainers that have got some sort of firm midsole being on this end, and the Max Cushion shoes intended for easy runs, long runs with super cushioned midsoles on the other side. The Invincible Run 3 to me is the gold standard of that max cushioning. The Pegasus from Nike, New Balance's 1080, that kind of daily trainer sits on that side of the scale. The Infinity Run 4 is one that sort of balances the two. That's the key difference. But now let me talk a bit more about the numbers. The second section, this is very objective. These are not my opinion, just hard numbers that you need to know about. Let's start with the weight. This in a 9.5 UK, the Invincible Run 3 comes in at 320 grams, which I consider to be slightly heavy for a daily trainer. But guess what? The Infinity Run 4 is even heavier, coming in at 359 grams. Another key factor we have to consider is the price. The Infinity Run 4 wins that one because this one is £155 versus the Invincible, which is still selling at £175. Therefore, a £20 saving if you go with the Run 4. The next is the stack height. Similarities actually. You've got 9mm drops on both, but they start at different points. You got 40mm of Zoom X at the back and 31 at the front in the Invincible Run 3 versus a 39mm stack height at the back and 30mm at the forefoot, both, as I said, being 9mm drops. Okay, let's start with the opinion section. I'm going to heavily caveat this by simply saying, don't get offended. These are just my opinions. The first section we're going to talk about is the look. Of these two shoes, which one do I prefer the look of? Now, we can talk about the two colorways I have right now. And if we do that, so looks, I definitely prefer the React X Infinity Run 4. Okay, now let's talk about performance related stuff. The look is important, but the performance has to be discussed. The first thing I want to talk about, let's talk about the heel. Infinity wins because the heel lock I got in this shoe is much better than the Invincible Run 3, which I had to use the runner's nut on, and I didn't need to do that for this one. So it takes it. Next thing is the tongue. And you know what? The Infinity is kind of beating this one quite heavily. This one takes that for two reasons. One, the tongue is gusseted on the Infinity Run 4, meaning it's attached on the inside. Secondly, it's much more breathable. It carries on the pattern of that perforation that you're seeing in the fly knit upper, but not all the way through. Just at the top of the tongue, it's got extra padding. So when you're tying up the laces, where you actually do the knot, it's been given an extra padding. That intentional design is what gives it to the Infinity Run 4. The lacing systems, easy. I like it because it's simple, and the laces are somewhat a bit more technical, the laces themselves. But what I like more about the Invincible Run 4's lacing system is how the lacing holes, the eyelets, are actually fortified with that extra layer. And that adds to the durability and the resilience of this shoe. So yeah, I give it to the Invincible Run 3. Right, so the next section is cushioning and return of energy. I want to present these two things together because they kind of go against each other. Let me explain. In the Invincible Run 3, when you go out in a run in this shoe, you are essentially looking for that max cushioning. These are for your long runs, easy runs, where pace is not a thing. Your foot sinks in on each step, and the ZoomX configuration in this shoe, honestly, second to none. There is a disadvantage in that because if you're looking for pace and propulsion, that won't be the shoe for you. However, if you're looking for a shoe that's got some sort of moderate cushioning, but still offering you a return of energy, you're going to want to go with the Infinity Run 4. That's just my opinion. Out of the two, for me, I will always prefer cushioning versus propulsion because I've got other shoes intended for that speed work. And these are shoes with a speed board, a carbon plate, whatever you want to call it, configured within the midsole. So out of these two shoes, I very much prefer max cushioning, the comfort, versus the return of energy that you might get from the Infinity Run 4. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so next, let's turn the shoes upside down and start talking about the outsoles. And for me, the Infinity takes it here. The simple reason being, it has full coverage of this midsole. There isn't a single area that is exposed within the midsole of the Infinity Run 4, whereas the Invincible does have some places. Now, that said, this is still one of the best outsoles there is. It's one of the more resilient outsoles, full coverage, except for a few places where in those few places, this bad boy takes it because they both have that waffle shaped outsole, but this one just edges it because of that full coverage. Aubrey, what about the upper? Now the upper is going to be discussed in two ways, aesthetics and performance. So they share that point, one each. In terms of aesthetics, there is a lot more intended design, little touches in the Infinity Run 4 that you don't necessarily see in this bad boy. The intentional little details. I love that the highlights of this kind of trim makes an appearance in the upper. The little plastery back thing, whatever they want to call that, I don't know. I like that. Even the perforations add personality to this upper. However, in terms of technical performance, this just looks and feels much more technically engineered. I do find it to be a bit more breathable. I don't know why, because it's got less perforations. I just prefer the look and feel of this. I've heard people saying they don't like the feel of it against their fingers, but I'm not out here stroking my shoe, you know, so which shoe should you get? Well, I don't want to say it depends. Actually, I won't say it depends. I'm going to say one. Given these two, I'm going to start doing this a lot more in my videos to simply tell you which one and why. Given these two, that's the shoe to get simply because of the cushioning. Yes, it's more expensive. And yes, I did experience heel lock issues, which go away when you use a runner's knot. And you know what? That is a better running shoe if you can afford it compared to this one. With that said though, this is still a decent shoe, but if you have to look at one, that's the one. Thank you for watching this one.